The city was a blur of neon and rain, a watercolor painting smeared by a careless hand. It was 2 in the morning, and the world had gone to sleep, leaving me to navigate the empty, glistening streets alone. The sound of my shoes slapping against the wet pavement was the only rhythm in the dead quiet of the parking garage. Each level I descended felt like I was going deeper into some forgotten concrete cavern. My car, a familiar old sedan, was parked in its usual spot, a lone island under the sickly yellow glow of a flickering fluorescent light. As I got closer, something felt off. The rain on the garage roof was a steady, heavy drum, but another sound was missing the silence inside my car. A shape was silhouetted against the driver's side window. A person. Just sitting there. My heart hammered against my ribs. My first thought was a thief, but who breaks into a car just to sit in it? My hand tightened on my keys, the metal teeth digging into my palm. I slowed my pace, my breath catching in my throat. I crept closer, trying to make out details through the rain-streaked glass. The figure was still, just a dark outline. They were my height, my build. A cold dread, slick and oily, began to seep into my veins. This wasn't a random stranger. Something deep and primal screamed at me to turn back, to run, but my feet were rooted to the spot primera de tonneau. I reached the driver's door, my hand trembling as I inserted the key. The lock clicked, a sound that echoed like a gunshot in the silent garage. I pulled the handle. The door swung open with a low groan. And primera fros. The person inside turned their heads slowly, their eyes meeting mine. And my world tilted on its axis. I was staring at my own face. It wasn't just a resemblance, it was me. Every detail was perfect. The small scar above my right eyebrow from a childhood fall. The way my hair fell messily over my forehead. He was even wearing the exact same clothes, a worn-out gray hoodie and dark jeans. The only difference was his expression. It was calm, yet filled with a sorrow so profound it felt ancient. My mind roulette, trying to process the impossible sight. Was I hallucinating? Was this some elaborate, cruel joke? I opened my mouth to shout, to demand answers, but no sound came out. My throat was tight with a knot of pure, undiluted fear. He broke the silence. His voice was a mirror of my own, a low, steady tone that I heard every day, yet it sounded alien coming from him. He didn't move, just held my gaze. "Don't drive today," he said, the words hanging heavy in the damp air. "You won't make it home." The statement was so simple, so direct, it cut through my panic. It wasn't a threat. It was a warning. My double, this impossible reflection, just sat there, waiting. My car keys felt heavy, like a lead weight in my hand. He gestured to the passenger seat with a slight nod of his head. "Get in. I'll explain." Against every rational instinct I did. I circled around the front of the car, the headlights casting long, distorted shadows, and slid into the passenger seat. The interior smelled the same as always, old coffee and rain, but now it felt like a cage. I couldn't stop staring at him. It was like looking into a living, breathing mirror. "Who are you?" I finally managed to ask, my voice barely a whisper. He sighed, a sound filled with weariness. "I'm you, or at least I was." He looked away, out at the rain. "I'm the you that didn't listen, the you that got behind the wheel tonight." My blood ran cold. "What are you talking about?" "There's a patch of black ice on the bridge, just past the old mill," he said, his voice flat, devoid of emotion. "A truck will lose control. It happens fast, too fast." He turned back to me, and for the first time, I saw a flicker of raw pain in his eyes. "You won't make it home." The certainty in his voice was chilling. This wasn't a dream. This was something else, something real. How are you here?" "I don't know," he admitted. "Maybe I'm a ghost. A memory. Warning. All I know is that I'm living that moment over and over again. The screech of tires, the shattering glass, the sudden stop." He looked down at his hands. which were identical to mine. I was given a choice, a chance to come back to this exact moment, to stop you from making the same mistake. I looked out the windshield. The rain was coming down harder now, blurring the world outside. The bridge passed the old mill. I drove over it every night. It was a treacherous stretch of road, especially in weather like this. His words played over in my head, a terrifying premonition. "Why?" I asked. "Why? Help me?" He offered a faint, sad smile. "Because someone has to live. Someone has to see the sunrise. Someone has to call Mom and tell her they love her. Someone has to finish that book you started writing." He looked at me, his eyes pleading. "I can't. My story ended on that bridge. Yours doesn't have to." The air in the car was thick with unspoken grief. I was looking at my own demise, a specter born from a future that hadn't happened yet. It was the consequence of a single, simple decision: to drive or not to drive. "What do I do?" I asked, the question feeling impossibly heavy. "You wait," he said simply. "Wait until the sun comes up. Call a cab, walk home. Anything. Just don't drive this car. Not tonight." He reached over and put his hand on my shoulder. His touch was solid, real. Not the cold, ethereal touch of a ghost, but warm, human. "It's your choice," he said softly, "but I've shown you the path. Please choose a different one." And then he started to fade. His form became translucent, like smoke in the dim light. His hand on my shoulder lost its substance, his fingers turning to mist. His eyes, full of that ancient sorrow, were the last thing to go. In a blink, he was gone. I was alone again. The driver's seat was empty. The car was silent, save for the drumming of the rain. I sat there for a long time, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. His words echoed in my mind. "You won't make it home." I looked at the ignition, the keys still in my hand. It would be so easy to turn them, to dismiss this as a stress-induced hallucination, a waking nightmare. To whose go home? But I couldn't. The fear was too real. The sorrow in his eyes was too convincing. I dropped the keys onto the empty driver's seat. They landed with a soft clatter. I took a deep breath, the air tasting of rain and a second chance. I pushed the passenger door open and stepped back out into the cold, wet night. I didn't look back. I just started walking, away from the car, away from the bridge, toward the distant promise of a sunrise I was never meant to see. My story didn't end tonight. It was just beginning. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more stories.